Every empire believes it is different. Rome believed it was eternal. Spain believed silver would make it unstoppable. France believed royal power could survive any debt. Modern states believe technology and central banks have changed the rules. But across history, powerful states keep returning to the same dangerous trick. When the empire becomes too expensive, when wars consume the treasury, when taxes are no longer enough, they do not always tell the public the truth. They change the money. The coin looks the same. The paper looks the same. The number looks the same. But the value is quietly dying. This is not just inflation. It is a pattern of power. And once an empire begins destroying its own money, it may already be admitting something terrifying. It can no longer afford itself. So, why do empires keep choosing the same mistake? An empire is not just land. It is a machine. Armies must be paid. Borders must be defended. Roads, fleets, officials, courts, palaces, and wars all require money. At first, expansion brings wealth. New lands, new taxes, new trade routes, new resources. But over time, the machine becomes heavier. The same army that protects the empire begins to consume it. The same borders that show power become expensive to defend. The same bureaucracy that organizes the empire begins to drain it. And eventually, every empire faces the same question. How do you pay for power when power itself becomes too expensive? The honest answer is taxation. But taxation is visible. People feel it. People resist it. So rulers look for something quieter, a way to take value without calling it a tax. That quieter method has appeared again and again in history. Weaken the money. Rome is the clearest example. The empire needed soldiers. Soldiers needed wages. Wages needed coins. But as the empire became more expensive to defend, emperors needed more money than they could honestly collect. So they changed the coin. The denarius once carried real silver. It paid legions. It moved through markets. It represented trust in Roman power. But slowly the silver content was reduced. Cheaper metals were mixed in. More coins were created from less real value. At first the coin still looked official. The emperor's face was still there. The symbol of Rome was still there. But the promise behind the coin was weaker. Rome had not created wealth. It had diluted trust. And when trust weakened, prices rose, wages struggled, and the empire became harder to hold together. But Rome was not the only empire to learn this trick. Centuries later, Spain believed it had found something better than taxation: silver. Vast quantities of precious metal flowed from the Americas into the Spanish Empire. At first it looked like unlimited wealth. More silver meant more spending, more wars, more royal ambition, more imperial power. But wealth is not only about how much metal enters a kingdom. It is about what that money does to prices, production, and trust. As silver flooded Europe, prices rose. The empire looked rich, but its economy became weaker. Spain had treasure, but treasure alone could not create a productive economy. The empire imported, borrowed, spent, and fought. Silver gave Spain power, but it also fed the illusion that money itself was the same as wealth, and that illusion is one of the oldest traps in history. Then came another empire, another debt problem, and another form of broken money. France faced a different version of the same problem. Royal power was expensive. Wars were expensive. Debt became unbearable. And when rulers cannot pay honestly, they often search for financial magic. Paper money promised a solution. It seemed modern, efficient, flexible. But paper money depends on one fragile thing: belief. If people believe the paper holds value, it works. If they stop believing, it collapses. In France, financial experiments promised to solve debt by creating new forms of money and speculation. For a moment, confidence created wealth. Then, confidence disappeared. The lesson was brutal. Money can be printed, promised, and multiplied, but trust cannot be manufactured forever. Once the public begins to doubt the system, the paper becomes only paper again. By now, the pattern was clear, but modern governments would later give it new names. Today, governments do not usually shave silver from coins. They do not always flood the world with treasure ships. They do not always rely on royal paper schemes. The tools are more complex now. Central banks, government bonds, deficits, quantitative easing, stimulus, digital money, balance sheets. The language sounds modern, but the question is ancient. What happens when the state needs more money than it can honestly collect? Modern money is built on trust, just like ancient coins were. The system works as long as people believe the numbers represent value. But when money is expanded to protect the system, the cost does not disappear. It moves to savers, to wage earners, to people holding cash, to those who receive the new money last. Different century, different institution, same trick. So the real question is not whether empires destroy money. The real question is why they keep doing it. Empires destroy their money because it is easier than admitting weakness. It is easier than cutting spending, easier than losing wars, easier than raising taxes openly, easier than telling the public the empire has become too expensive. Bad money buys time. It delays the crisis. It protects the system for a little longer. It keeps soldiers paid. It keeps debts moving. It keeps the illusion alive. But the price is trust, and trust is the real currency behind every empire. Once trust disappears, coins become metal. Paper becomes paper. Numbers become doubts. And power begins to lose its foundation. This is why the history of money is also the history of power. Rome weakened its coins. Spain mistook silver for permanent wealth. France experimented with paper promises. Modern states use central banks, debt, and monetary expansion. Different empires, different tools, same temptation. When power becomes too expensive, rulers search for ways to make the public carry the cost quietly, sometimes through taxes, sometimes through debt, sometimes through inflation, and sometimes through money that looks unchanged while its value disappears. That is why money is never just money. It is trust. It is power. It is the hidden contract between the state and the people. And when that contract breaks, empires do not always fall immediately. They decay slowly, from the currency outward. If you want to understand how money, power, and empires really work, subscribe to Empire and Economy. Because history does not just explain what happened, it reveals the patterns still shaping the world today. And the next time you hear that money is being created to save the system, ask one question: who pays when the value disappears?